political practice at Concerto Global Public Affairs. I have two questions. The first one is a more political one. As we election, so on which tools do you rely to ensure a fair, transparent and inclusive election, and how?
And there was one gentleman there, you sir, yeah. One question please, because I want to try and get a diverse number of questions.
Our first term, we ran a coalition government. But I can tell you, there was no single opportunity where my party held a PG outside President Uhuru's party. We had one parliamentary group, one government, one program, and it was all clear. There were no dockets that were given to me. I didn't appoint no minister anywhere. Everybody was appointed by the President of Kenya. And the difference, maybe you could ask, is between our first term and our second term. In our first term, granted, I played my role as Deputy President. The President assigned me many responsibilities, which I discharged with distinction from where I sit. Unfortunately, in our second term, because of the political dynamics that came into play, the President told me that he wanted to do things differently. And he didn't want what had become normal in Kenya, that this was Ruto. He wanted a Uhuru. And I had a discussion, a candid discussion with him. And when he told me that's what he wanted, and he wanted to run this government because he wanted his legacy alone as the fourth President of the Republic of Kenya, I was not fussy about it, because he decided that whatever I did in the first term to coordinate the government programs, work on assignments that would consolidate our plan, he decided that he wanted somebody else to do it. And I didn't complain. When we went and we were told that we were having the handshake, and it was about the unity of the country, it later turned out that it was a conspiracy. It wasn't genuine. You know, what happened? There was no unity. There was no building bridge. There was nothing. What happened? The handshake destroyed Jubilee, the ruling party. The handshake destroyed NASA, the opposition coalition. The handshake destroyed our Big Four plan. We couldn't implement it. The handshake destroyed government as we knew it. There was no government, there was no opposition. We ended up in a conundrum that nobody knew who was in the opposition. So, as we call for unity, is it the unity of the leaders or is it the unity of the people? It is way different, because there is a push by our competitors that the unity they understand is that if you have 3, 4, 5 leaders from their communities deciding to work together, that is unity, and every Kenyan should be satisfied with it. We hold a different view. We believe that the unity of the nation will be built around getting everybody included, the inclusion, the political inclusion. That's why we are building a national political movement. That's why we are building a national political party. That's why we and our competitors and our friends, we are building a national political formation. Economic inclusion. It's not that when a leader has occupied an office, he has occupied an office on behalf of his community. No. It is the economic inclusion that will create the unity of the nation. If you want to tell us today that you want us to believe you, that you are genuine about the unity of the country, you know? And you have just come from your commitment. You said, this is my commitment, this is my word as a leader. You've walked away from it. And if you can lie, if you can cheat, if you can betray a fellow leader, what will you do to the people of Kenya? Huh? So, I mean, really, we have to be honest about this thing, you know, and that's we must speak candidly as Kenyans to these issues. Let's not gloss over big words, or, you know, unity of the country, second liberation, Mandela moment. No, I mean, this is all nonsense. I'm sorry. I mean, we really must speak to the real issues that bring people together. We have confidence in the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission that they can deliver a credible election if they are properly resourced, they are supported both by government and our development partners and friends, as has been the tradition of support to IEBC. That election is a decisive election. I may also call it a transition election, because in it we have either to transit into a prosperous Kenya, or we could regress into something else. On our side, we believe that the way to the future is to consolidate our democracy by completing the implementation of our 2010 Constitution that is largely a very progressive constitution that provides for checks and balances, that separates the judiciary from the executive, from the legislature, and provides a system of checks and balances. On the other side of the divide, of course, we have our competitors who now have doubts about our 2010 Constitution. They have proposed a raft of amendments in the region of 72 different amendments in an exercise called the BBI process. And they want to bring back an imperial presidency. They want more power given to the president. They want the president to have power over the judiciary. They want the president to appoint an entity called ombudsman that seeks to supervise and superintend the judiciary.
This is election season now for Kenya. It's heating up. I myself was in Kenya in December. At the time, I kept asking people, who are you going to vote for? Those on the street were all saying that Dr. William Ruto was their man. Many in the middle class and in business were less sure, wanting to understand the man better, to get a better sense of him and what his policies might be for private sector and for the prosperity of Kenya. So again, Excellency. I'm really delighted that you accepted to come to speak here today. And I myself am going to be fascinated to hear your vision for Kenya's, in terms of prospects, challenges for shared prosperity, and indeed how you see the build-up to the elections in August.